Hello there, welcome to Talking Balearics with me, Martin Makepeace, here on a hot afternoon in Ibiza.
Meet Richie Pye in Mallorca. I think summer's arrived at last, Mark.
It's incredible, Rich, actually. It's like somebody's turned the burners on, haven't they? So it's literally happened overnight. I always think it's amazing, Rich. At the start of May, it gets warmer, then the start of June, which is obviously next week, all of a sudden, it just goes very, very warm indeed. How are you, mate, anyway?
Yeah, very good, Mark. Thank you. Very good.
You're a busy you're a busy boy, aren't you?
Yeah, very busy at the minute. Very busy, which is great, you know.
It's good.
As it should be,
I'm not quite as busy as you, Rich, but I'm always like to keep my hand in, as you know.
Yeah. Well, you're always out, Mark. That's your problem these days, you know what I mean?
Too busy enjoying myself to work. You know, we don't want to get work get in the way, do we?
No, mate, exactly.
So this is Talking Balearics. Richie, what have you got me from the island of Mallorca this week?
There's a bit of a tourist protest about a big event that we've got happening at Belvedere Castle in Palma. It's a Louis Vuitton event that's attracting celebrities from around the world, apparently. And they've rented out the whole of Belvedere Castle. So people are sort of saying, you know, blasphemy. You can't do that. So nobody could go and visit Belvedere Castle because the event's taking over and everything else. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. I also want to talk about our friends Ryanair, who are quite happy they're going to court with the Spanish authorities. Apparently, they think they're going to win their case. This is the handbag. The handbag. Well, it is a bit of handbag at 10 paces, to be honest, but it's the hand baggage argument again. And I've also got an Ibiza story, Mark, that I won't sort of. I won't tell you about now. I think I'll sort of I'll throw it on you and see if you've heard about this story when we get there.
You're going to try and test me, are you, Rich? I like that.
Yeah, I think you've probably been to this place, so I'm just interested to know if you have.
Okay, well, I've got, let me see. First of all, I've got a bit of a rumble on the beach over sunbeds because we've got some story of people overcharging, which I think actually goes on to a different story, which I'll let you know about when we talk about it. You know, one of our best podcasts, or should I say our most listened to podcast, was the storm, wasn't it? The flooding in Valencia, where the mystic Richie came up with a story, and then 3 days later, I think, or the day later, it happened, didn't it? I've got a story about that which involves Ibiza and Mallorca and Menorca, so I think that's really good for Talking Balearics. And I've also got something about taxis, because taxis are a very Marmite issue at this time of the year. So I've got a bit of a story about taxis. But first of all, Rich, tell me about Louis Vuitton, because I've heard about this on the QT. So I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard about it because I've got several friends of mine who are actually going over to work on this big event. So tell me more about it.
Well, you've probably actually helped my little argument there, to be perfectly honest. So Louis Vuitton have rented Belvedere Castle out until June the 3rd. It's been closed, I think.
Sorry, Rich, what's Belvedere Castle? Just let me know what that is.
Okay, so Belvedere Castle is the big, it's around one of the only round castles I seem to remember still sort of fully round, if that makes sense. So it's not a ruin. Yeah, that gets used quite a lot for events anyway. It's on the top of the hill at Palma, so overlooks Palma. So it's got a fantastic view of Palma. It's one of the sort of iconic things, like the cathedral. People sort of go and visit while they're here. But unfortunately, you're not going to be able to visit until June the 3rd. It's been closed for at least a couple of weeks, I think. And there is sort of a little bit of condemnation going around that it's been sold or rented out for 175,000 euros.
Cheap.
But, I think that is quite cheap, actually, when you think about it.
When you think about what Louis Vuitton have got, that's very cheap.
Yeah, so... but you sort of hit the nail on the head where you've got some friends that are going to work on it.
Yeah.
I think, I sometimes wonder why, and I have spoken to some promoters about this as well. I don't know if this happens in Ibiza, but there seems to be this sort of attitude that you can't put on these things because it's harmful. It's harmful to the island and everything else. And I don't think a lot of people realise that so many people get work out of all these things that happen. And how much it actually brings into the island as well, and how the island is talked about worldwide, because it will be.
I mean, it's a world event. Louis Vuitton, probably arguably the biggest luxury brand in the world. Why wouldn't you want it? The thing is, it's locals saying that, because who never actually go to the castle, saying we want to go to the castle. Why have you locked it off? The reason, I've got a couple of mates over here who are drivers of the black vans and their coach drivers, and they're going over because you've got a lot of transportation issues, I believe, over there as well for Louis Vuitton. But what's the blowback been, or the pushback, should I say, from the locals? What have they been saying?
Well, there has been a private. I mean, it's when I say not much of a protest. When I say that, apparently this elitism and touristification was the sort of the argument that they were bringing forward. It's a private.
It's exactly what we want, Rich. Exactly what we want.
Well, yeah. I mean, in reality, yeah, it's a private luxury event for which private jets from India, China, and Arab countries expect to arrive. That aims to market Mallorca as a global luxury destination and flaunt its wealth.
Yeah.
The castle is closed to the public till June the 3rd. They want us to believe that luxury tourism will solve overcrowding by telling us that it will also generate wealth. It is neither the solution nor will it generate wealth.
Who's that come from, Rich?
This it's a local.
Is that in
group
in the paper?
Yeah, it's the protesters. It doesn't actually. It doesn't tell me who they actually are. It's a form of locals, but in the picture I can see about 3 people.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Right. My comment is this: first of all, it's low season, Rich. Right, if this is the middle of August, I'd go, we don't need it, we don't want it. But this is late May, early June, of which it's still low season. I think until about the 15th of June, it really is the lower season. So why would you not want a world-class brand? As long as they respect the environment, as long as there's no real economic and environmental damage to the area, then I'm all over it. I mean, we're talking about the most luxurious brand in the world being associated with your island. I just don't get it. It really is. And it leads me to another point, which I'll make when you finish your Louis Vuitton story, because I've got a little bit of a story about that as well.
Oh, you carry on. I'm pretty much done. That was it. And there's been a bit of blowback, as I say, here on the island. But as I say, I don't think personally. I think it's a good thing. I think it brings people here that might not have visited Mallorca. Well, hopefully, would come back again if they see what we have to offer. It's going to get the name worldwide, I imagine, with what they're trying to do. So
absolutely.
I get the touristification. We've talked about this till we're blue in the face on this podcast, haven't we? We understand it. But nobody seems to really sort of sit down around the table and go, okay, so what are we going to do here? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
the problem?
What brands would you rather have there? I mean, the fact that Louis Vuitton want to use Palma and Mallorca, it's a massive coup. It really is. What I was going to say, I wrote a blog this week, Rich, about beach restaurant as well. It wasn't really about the restaurant, I've got to tell you. It was more about the gentrification of the beaches in Ibiza, which will go on to the hammocks in a minute, the sunbeds as well. On social media, the kind of pushback I'm getting is like, oh yeah, it's not like it used to be. These family-run restaurants, the beaches are becoming a haven for the rich and the weekenders. Yes, and yes is the answer to that. And that's because we've got a product that people want. And I think, you've got to look forward. I agree. It's a shame that these family businesses have sold out to the highest bidder. But someone said to me in the week, we're talking about weekend warriors these days. Well, the people who come over, they are time poor and cash rich, and they want good things. And the fact that the Balearics we are now at the top of the trees because of these things, not in spite of these things as well. So I do understand it. I do see both sides of it as well. But what's the alternative, Rich? Do we want to not have world-class brands? Do we not want to have fantastic places on the beach? I don't think it's an option. I really don't.
No, and you've got to look at all the things that is being brought in around it as well. There's lots of people that are making money off of this event. You've just highlighted you've got 2 or 3 guys that are actually flying over from Ibiza to actually, or bring their vans from Ibiza to help with this event. So you can't have your cake and eat it, as they say.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, aren't you?
Well, true.
Talking about the beaches as well, I want to go to my first story, if I can, Rich, about the hammocks, which is the Spanish word for sunbeds, because we've got an issue over here. Because again, going back to these new beach restaurants, they kind of take the concession for the beach as well, if you understand, because they want to control what's in front of them, and I get it. Now, what's been happening, not the place I mentioned before, but other places around the island, I noticed that the town halls are getting very upset because the restaurants that run the concessions aren't charging the set amount. Now, just to explain, if you run a beach concession, there is a maximum amount of money you can charge for a sunbed, yeah? So I think in San Antonio, it's €7. I think in San Jose, it's €6. But what happens is that these very smart beach restaurants, they take it and they offer add-ons there as well. And I noticed that there was a big story in the press this week that there was a place, I think it's in Talamanca on the town, the capital, that they're charging €25 per sunbed. Now, again, going with the misinformation that I had online last week, the gentrification of the beaches, people were saying, oh, listen, you have to pay €100 for a sunbed. No, you don't. You can only pay a maximum of €6 or €7 for a sunbed. And if you do get charged any more, you can then denounce those people as well. It's really important to have this, because although the restaurants are really smart, they can't take the beaches away from you, because the beaches are public spaces. The concessions are there from the town hall. So if you're not happy and you feel like you're being overcharged, then you can always make a complaint, which is I think people's rights there as well, because the public do deserve the beaches. I mean, I like to sit on a nice sunbed and get served a nice drink, and I'm happy to pay for it, but I don't want to be overcharged either.
No, totally agree. I think I probably need to check what's happening here, because I know there's concessions here. We don't have beach clubs that take on the concessions. I think possibly Nikki Beach do, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, I think they do.
They're about one of the only ones that do, I think, here. So
it's very strict over here, Rich. And there was a real pushback, but I think there's a misconception as well, because, as I said, the beach restaurant that I wrote about last week, a lot was, they've privatized the beach, they've done that. But I was there and I saw that the sunbeds, they've upgraded the sunbeds, but the sunbeds were only €7 per sunbed. It was as simple as that. So right. I think there's a lot of misconception. There's a lot of scaremongering as well. So, if in doubt, listen, get in touch with us. We know we're the fonts of all knowledge, aren't we? So we can help you. So, but don't overpay for sunbeds, but make sure that you go enjoy the beaches as well, because that's one of the big bonuses that we've got on the Balearic Islands.
It's true. Should we talk Ryanair?
Are you a fan of Ryanair, Rich?
Well, if I had the choice, I would fly with the Orange friends of ours rather than Ryanair if I were given the choice. But listen, at the end of the day, they are what they do, and they do what they are. And you know what I mean? If you find the flight's cheaper with them, you're probably going to book it. I mean, it's Well,
it's fair.
It is what it is.
It's no frill. It's no frills. I mean, I'm okay with Ryanair because I always book the same seat and I always book the hand luggage as well. So I kind of throw money at the problem. But the thing about Ryanair is, if you try and cheat the system, more often than not, you're going to come unstuck.
The biggest complaint I have about Ryanair is if you try and change a flight, they charge you an admin fee of €40 for you to change the flight yourself. Yeah. So you're doing all the admin, and they're charging you €40 to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, I find that totally and utterly ridiculous. I
changed a Vueling flight the other day. It was so easy, and they charged me nothing to change it. So there's a bit of a feather in their cap. But massive fan of Ryanair. Tell me what you've got for me on Ryanair, please, Rich.
So Ryanair have welcomed the filing of a complaint by the European Consumer Organisation to the European Commission against several airlines this week, with the Irish No Frills carrier saying that the Commission would confirm that Ryanair's baggage policy fully complies with European law, which grants all European airlines the freedom to set prices, including the prices of optional services. The airline said in a statement, Ryanair allows each passenger to carry a generous, they said generous in inverted commas, a 40 by 25 by 20 centimetre personal bag on board for free as part of its basic airfare, with the option to add extra bags for an optional fee should they so wish. This policy promotes both low fares and consumer choice. If airlines were forced to include additional carry-on bags as part of their basic fare, which obviously They used to
exactly. Back in the day. Yeah.
Exactly. It would reduce choice and drive up fares for all passengers, which would harm consumers. They're basically harping back to a precedent that was set in 2014 where Vueling had a case basically saying that they could actually charge for extra baggage. Yeah. And that's what they're basically highlighting. And they're quite happy that this is going to court, and they think they're going to win their case. So let's see.
I mean, as I said, I'm a big fan of Ryanair, but it's also worth mentioning, Richard, they are the biggest airline in Spain. It's not Iberia anymore. It's Ryanair. They shift more passengers than anyone as well. And what they do as well for us in Ibiza, I presume it's the same in Mallorca, is they connect the mainland very, very well over here. Yeah. So we have flights to Malaga, Valencia, Alicante, Barcelona every day, and they're really, and because we get the discount as well, just to explain to all the listeners back home, because we're Balearic residents, we get a very substantial discount. They're for nothing. They really are.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Do you get your resident discount with Ryanair?
Does it work? Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%, mate. Yeah, you get it all the time. Yeah, you have to. If you're going internal flights, you have to by law.
Okay, I wasn't sure if, and is that the case for EasyJet as well then?
Yeah. No, but EasyJet don't run internal Spanish flights.
Okay.
They run international flights, but Ryanair, I mean, that's why Ryanair are the biggest, because what they did, Ryanair, is they identified internal routes within Spain, and that's why they're number one. So, what you see is what you get. It's no frills. Get on there, put your headphones on, and away you go.
I have to say because I have done a bit of searching on airlines for flights, obviously with football and stuff going on right now. They don't make it easy for you to find where you have to put your discount, though, do they? Do you know what I mean? They don't like giving it to you.
Well, you have to be a bit savvy about it, because otherwise, you don't go there.
Exactly.
Rich, remember when we did in November, or the end of October, I think it was, wasn't it, when we had those horrible floods in Valencia region, and it really was terrible. I noticed this week, if you see this Thursday, they are trying out an early warning system. Did you read about that, Rich?
No, I haven't, but this is something I think we touched on when we were talking about this.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Which it's always nice when what we say they should do, they actually do it. So
good. So that's good.
Here we've got Meteobal, which I presume is meteorological Balearic Islands, and we've got Inunbal, which I presume is Inundaciones Balearic. So we've got those two organisations, and this Thursday, they're going to do an alert system for all of us, and it's going to be only in Alcudia, San Antonio, Formentera, and Ferrerias. Is that right? Ferrerias? So if I've said that wrong, I apologise. So basically, one town in Mallorca, Alcudia, one town in Ibiza, San Antonio, Formentera, the whole of Formentera, and one in Menorca. So they're going to sound an early warning system. It's going to come on the phone, so all registered residents will get a early warning message. And I think it goes on from what we were talking about, which you so amazingly pointed out back in October.
Yes, and it's a definite, and I think it should be, obviously, for me, it should be wheeled out, not worldwide, but across Spain.
Yeah.
We definitely need it, without a doubt.
Well, being a San Antonio resident, mate, I will look forward to that and see if it works and report back next week.
Yeah, good. Now then, I'm interested to know if you visited this place, Mark.
This is the big test, is it? Go on, Richie.
Yeah, so CNN have released a list from the Nude and Natural.
I saw this. Go on.
Which is the finest clothing optional beaches across the globe. And Es Cavalet has become Spain's top nudist beach, Mark. Are you a visitor?
I am a very frequent visitor to this beach.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Yeah, but I wonder why.
Well, no, I'll be honest with you. It's a beautiful beach. I haven't been there for quite a few years. I sometimes hike there in the winter, but I've got to tell you that it was when the mother of my children, it was one of our first dates. We went there, actually, Es Cavalet Beach.
A nudist beach?
Yeah, no, you don't have to be nudist, but it's one of those. It's one of those places where people do go nude, but you don't have to. But it's a bit pebbly, but it's a beautiful beach. It's next to Las Salinas. It's very close to the airport. It's got 2 or 3 super restaurants on it as well, by the way. And also there's a well-known gay beach as well, which is just a bit further up. So you've got a nudist beach and a gay beach back to back. That's probably the right way to say it. And, it's very, very, very beautiful beach and well frequented. I say I've not been there for a couple of years, but very, very nice indeed.
Well, it stands once again as the Mediterranean's only representative, with Gran Canaria's Maspalomas being the only other Spanish beach included.
Wow. No, I did. Someone did send it over to me this morning about that, actually. So yeah, no, it's a beautiful place. Rich, when you come over, mate, we'll go and have a little drink down there, shall we? I know you like those beaches, mate. I was going to say something about you taking your top off there, but I won't. It's not good, is it?
Not anymore.
Taxis, mate. When I say taxis to you in the Balearics, what's the first word that comes into your mind?
I don't think I can say it on the podcast, to be perfectly honest. Definitely not. Headed hands would be I would, or throw the phone against the wall.
I've got a phobia about taxis here because I've just got so many horror stories. But I do have many friends who are taxistas, taxi drivers, and they tell me it's getting better. But they tell me it's getting better. I mean, there's Uber now as well, isn't there? So. We are getting there, but I still think, I've said to you many times when I come to Mallorca to watch my son play football, is that I'm always bowled over by your public transport. I think your public transport's really good. In Ibiza, our public transport's really bad. So you find that you end up using taxis by default, and taxis they don't do themselves any favor, Rich. They will only take certain people. If you say to them, sometimes you get into the taxi and say, I'm going up the road, they won't take you, or it's really a hot potato. I don't want to hate on the taxis, but I've heard a lot of bad stories over the years. Now, something's interesting. They're looking to start basic tariffs, because when you go to taxis, some taxis charge one tariff, one taxis charge another tariff. So what they're saying now is they want to come up with what they call it tarifa única, don't they, over here, which is basically you pay one fee no matter what. So for instance, if you land in Barcelona, there is a set fee. So even if you're going around to Terminal 1 or you're going from 1 to 2, you're paying a minimum of I think it's 20 euros. So in many ways, this will simplify it, but I think also it will mean it will push the prices up as well. So I think this is going to want.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry,
yeah,
so you don't have set fees in Ibiza?
No, you do, but they're run by the different town halls. So you've got Santa Eulalia, San Jose, Ibiza Town, San Antonio, San Juan. So they're beholden to the town hall. They're the ones who issue the licenses as well. So I think what they're saying is they're going to try and simplify the tariffs. Now, I always think when they say going to simplify the tariffs, that means the consumer is going to be penalised. That's what I'm reading this as well. So it'll be interesting they haven't put much meat on the bone, I've got to say, but I think taxis is always a hot potato in the Balearics, especially in Ibiza. And I've been over to Mallorca, and I think over there. In fact, I was in a taxi last year where the taxi driver had a fight with a client. So in the street,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
In Palma Nova. Yeah, it was. It was peak season, and it was a little bit stressful, but it was a bit strange anyway. But I think taxis, as I say, it's a little bit of a hot potato of an issue. But let's keep an eye on this one, Rich, because tarifa única to me says prices are going up.
Oh dear. That's it, Mark.
That's it, mate. Yeah, all good. By the way, I had a fantastic night in Bilbao, I've got to say. Really enjoyed it.
Apart from the game.
The game was probably the most horrendous game I've ever watched. And did you see I did a little TikTok on it as well. So, but no, great. Once again, great city, Bilbao, and not much sleep, but lots of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to in the winter time actually trying to get over to Bilbao, particularly the north of the island, San Sebastian, Bilbao.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, amazing play.
Definitely.
And a quick shout out to Udi Ibiza, who are playing Andorra on Saturday in the first round of their playoffs to go to the Segunda.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good one. And unfortunately, Formentera lost their playoffs, so they're going to stay in the Tercera. So
as did Atletico Baleares actually as well.
Oh, did they lose as well? Yes, so they'll stay in the shame. Yeah. Okay, mate.
All right.
It's good to speak as always.
And you, mate. Speak to you next week.
Speak to you next week, Rich.
All the best.
Bye now.
Make me dance.
Hello there. Thanks for listening to Talking Balearics.
If you'd like to get involved with this podcast, myself and mine do this, of course, every week, and it's become very, very popular. And if you'd like to sponsor us, please get in touch, 670-704-311, or Marty's number is
660-662222.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.